Hey guys, welcome back to Words of War. My name is Jorge Guerra.
I'm Sergio Guerra.
And today we're going to be reviewing Carrie with Chloe Grace Moritz and Julianne Moore.
Yeah, and Carrie, it's a remake of the Stephen King classic from the 70s. If you've never seen the original, you might be in for a real good treat with this movie. The character of Carrie is pretty much just like a loner girl, kind of like an outcast. Gets made fun of at school for being the weird girl. She has a pretty weird family life. It's just her and her mom, and her mom's kind of like a major religious freak, And so this is just pretty much a story of, the last couple of weeks before prom for like any normal girl in Carrie's high school, including her, and just how she gets made fun of, and eventually how she kind of tries to fit in and be normal. And so you might already know the story a little bit, from just watching. I mean, a lot of things have copied from Carrie, the original, all that. But essentially, it's just stuff you see in the commercials. It culminates in the prom, and then hilarity ensues. Not really hilarity, but
bloody hilarity.
Bloody hilarity. So, anyways, I mean, that's pretty much what the movie's about. What did you think about it?
I honestly, when you have a remake, you can't really help but to compare it to the original. And sometimes you try to not to because of the fact that, it's trying to be its own movie. But I like Claire. I like Chloe Moritz. I think she's good. I like her in most movies she's come out in. She was really good in Let the Right One In, which I thought she did well in, which was another horror movie. And so I thought she was going to do good in it. And I really wanted to like this, but I just kind of didn't. Like, it was just, the story felt kind of blah for me. There was things that they were focusing a lot on that were never really explained, and they were just kind of leaving it up to like, well, that's just the character. And it kind of didn't work for me. Like, Julianne Moore, I think she's a really good actress as well. And, again, you don't want to compare, but I really wasn't a big fan of her portrayal of the mom, and the relationship between her and the daughter. Just it kind of didn't work. Like, the thing for me was that, especially now with the internet and all that different stuff like this, the original worked well because it was kind of, it was in that time, a small town, and so it kind of worked to have that kind of religious zealot and the daughter and the kind of the outcast. And just nowadays, I never got that feeling from this movie. Like, I never got that feeling that that they were really that much of an outcast family. Like, it's just mentioned, but it's never really. I just never really thought it was like really strongly there for me. The prom scene though, I thought it was pretty cool. They had some cool shots in it, but just the thing for me in the first one is, for me, I just wanted to, like, the whole time I just felt bad for Carrie, in the original. And this one, I kind of didn't get that same feeling. Some of it was because of the acting, some of it was just because of the choices that were made. And the prom scene, the big difference for me between the two is that I felt like in the first one, it was, you kind of felt it was justified, and in this one, you kind of feel it's not the same. Like, I don't know. Just all in all, I wanted to like it. I didn't like it. It just felt a little bland for me. Like, really bland. Especially because, it was bland. Well, that's what I thought. What do you think?
Well, I'll give the producers and directors, some major points, because as far as remakes goes, this is a remake. It's like watching a play with different actors. They took the original movie, and if you've seen the original Carrie, it's like you're watching it again, but with a new cast. Mm-hmm. So I know that doesn't get done a lot, like in Hollywood. Most of the time when they say a remake, they literally take the story, and most of the time they just tear it apart.
Reimagining.
Yeah, they tear it apart and they make all sorts of changes to something that a lot of times was already perfect.
Yeah.
So, the whole goal of showing something new and all that is really big. So I give them a lot of points for actually trying to take that story that was really good. It's a classic, you know, that worked perfectly in its time, and to trying to keep as much, you know, as close as they could to that, you know, in our modern times. So big points for that. But like George said, you can't help but in these kind of things compare to the original, and maybe it's because it was the original, because I saw the original and I thought it was really great, but this just didn't really hold a candle to it, you know. The things that definitely, you know, if this is your first time seeing Carrie, if all you know about Carrie is what you see in other TV shows or on The Simpsons, or like little allusions to the original movie, and this is the first time you're going to see it, you'll probably enjoy it. It is a bit boring at the beginning, I think, because some of the scenes, even though they're the same scenes that were in the original, some of the scenes that were very pivotal in the original worked because of the character work and the type of story that was being told. And in this, there were some changes, like, you know, like George was talking about Julianne Moore's character, the mom. Julianne Moore is an amazing actress, and I don't know if it was her or the director, producers, or something, but they totally changed the character of the mother. And I think that the type of character that was played by Laurie Piper in the first one, the type of mother that was a lot more overbearing and oppressive towards Carrie, really made that relationship much, you know, like scarier. You know, the fact that, you know, she did what her mom told her, and in this one didn't really seem like it. So just with that already kind of you know, mismatch on the characters, you know, you don't really get that feeling of like, oh, poor Carrie, and like, man, she has it bad at school, she has it bad at home, like this girl doesn't get a break, you know. And so when the end comes here, which everybody kind of, I think, knows, you know, the last scene when Carrie starts, you know, finally using her powers or whatever, you know, in this one it seemed much more like an X-Men movie than like actual, like, just a girl that had it enough. You know, which in the first one, I think that's one of the reasons that in the first one that works great. So it's fun to watch. That, you know, it kind of makes up for a lot of the boring parts at the beginning when you finally get to the later scenes in this movie. You know, and it's fun to watch. And you know, Chloe did a great job as well. But because Carrie didn't really ever seem like she was that much of an outcast, didn't really seem like she was just, you know, totally
like meek and like,
not even that, just totally like brainwashed by her mom's type of thinking. It was very hard to see her as the outcast that you feel sorry for, and so that coupled along with the mom's different, you know, or the different take on the mom character, it just didn't mesh well for me. So as far as enjoyment for the movie, if I had never ever seen the other Carrie, I couldn't say that this would be a really great movie for me. I would probably give it like a 4. Seeing the original, knowing what they wanted to go, I'd probably say, you know what, enjoyment level is probably like a 5.5. 5.5 is the most I'd give this movie. And it sucks because there's a lot of really good stuff in there. It just kind of falls flat, and like you were saying, it was a little bland. You know?
I would go with like 5.5. That's what I would go with, because it wasn't. Even though I like the people in it, it was bland. I mean, like, there's other movies that we've seen that, even though they're not the greatest movies, at least they kind of take you on that ride and you can kind of like enjoy that. This just kind of like was, for me, just flat, you know, the whole way. So it's like, but yeah, so I mean, that's where I would go. But if you see it, I mean, you know, it's definitely Halloween time. Everybody's going out there watching scary movies. Keep doing that. But yeah, let us know what you think. What was the scariest moment that you thought? Or if you've seen the original, let us know how you thought it compared to it. But as always, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But again, my name is Jorge Guerra.
And I'm Sergio Guerra.
And y'all have a good one. Bye.